All right, hey there, good afternoon, or I guess almost afternoon. Good morning, everybody. A few minutes after 11 a.m. Central Standard Time here on Tuesday, the 23rd of November, 2021. Good to see y'all here, checking in from a beautiful, but for us right now, somewhat chilly, Bernie, Texas morning. It's also Thanksgiving week, guys, so real quick here, because it's Thanksgiving week, TWC offices are going to be closed there on Wednesday through Sunday. So we'll be back next Monday, but there won't be a stream here at the end of the week. And that way I can do, a little traveling with family and stuff like that. If you're in Discord with us, even though we're closed, Adam still usually makes himself available. And I usually try and check in at least once a day with at least a Bitcoin chart, updated chart. If I can do a little bit more, I do a little bit more. But basically, again, we're officially closed from Wednesday through Sunday. So just a heads up on that. I'll have a new giveaway. I'll launch that sometime today, so you guys be paying attention. I'll announce it there on Twitter. Follow me there at TX West Capital and our other properties. Social media properties. We're on Facebook there, Texas West Capital. We're on Instagram. And a few other places. So do that. Or you can follow us, again, from our server there on the free side of our server. You'll get the announcements there as well. So, got all that going on there. What else we got going on? Man, it's Thanksgiving coming up. Can you guys believe that? It's getting crazy, man. We're almost down to the end of the year. Heck, it's almost Christmas. My son keeps reminding me. My son and my nephew. They keep reminding me it's almost Christmas. So I'm like, hold your horses. It ain't even Thanksgiving yet. Who's here so far? We've got Boris here. What's going on, man? Hank's here. Devin, Nevlusian, Crypto Mowgli, Claudio. Good to see you guys. Venture's here. Hobby Dons is here. RA3. Data's here. White R21. What's going on, man? Scotty's checking in, and so is ARM. Good to see you guys checking in with me on Tuesday here. Crypto Twitter's going kind of crazy. I don't know. Honestly, guys, if you follow crypto Twitter, I don't know how you do it. It seems like the biggest names on there are constantly just flip-flopping back and forth, One day they're ultra bullish, the next day they're ultra bearish. I don't know, man. If I was a new trader trying to come into this mess today, I think that would just absolutely drive me nuts. You can't get a feel for the market when you're following people like that who are so so back and forth so much every day. But anyway, I think we still got further up to go. Nothing's, happened that I can see that's really changed anything. So we'll talk about that here. The dollar, man, the dollar continues to rally, right? So it continues to push its way up there. Let's see here. Oil was rallying there. And then the Biden's administration today said, hey, we're going to tap the U.S. oil reserves there. And so are other countries in order to get those prices down. Right now, we're about the highest prices here recently that we've been since about 2014 as far as oil and natural gas go. But anyway, it just seems like the end of that, that 5-wave move up from May of 2020. So, if we're there, if we're not there, we're pretty close to it. We'll have just a little bit higher up, I think. But anyway, with that coming in there, so... you guys have been freaking out and kind of having a little trouble with the gas and oil price and whatever. It should come on down here through the winter, it seems like. So we'll see how that all goes. Hey there, Goldocker. Good to see you, man. Kimo Zabi's here. Jared the Great checking in. Daniel Mendez checking in from Seattle as well. Good to have you. Good to have you. As always, guys, you can join us at howtotradetowin.com. We'd love to have you there. I will have some Black Friday specials, and I might have some surprises on that. But they'll be released here at the end of the week. So you guys, don't spend all your money prior to that. It'll be good times. It'll be good stuff, right? Also, guys, hey, listen, for those of you, you're out here, you're charting, right? And if you use, excuse me here. If you use TradingView, let me see where I can find that here. Here is the link, and you can get up to 60% off, plus a free month of TradingView on there, guys. So, if you're looking to stay with TradingView, even if your year isn't up right now, this is the best time to do it, guys. to add on to what you have there. But, before you do that, we often look at those TradingView charts, right? And for me, it just makes it easier to share with everybody, whatever. But I usually use something called Motive Wave for myself. And so if you're into that, what that does is, I use Motive Wave, I use Sierra charts. Now, TradingView is like the entry-level charting platform. When you first come in and you're new to charting and you're new to the platforms and all that, that's a good place to be because it makes it all very easy. It's very easy to kind of point and click and find everything. But you don't have very much power with it. You don't have very much control over your platform, right? And you're limited on what kind of indicators you have and what you can do. Like you can't really do order flow trading there on TradingView or anything like that. It doesn't have any automated Elliott Wave count systems. It doesn't have any automated Elliott Wave or harmonics scanners, anything like that. But you can get all that with something, with Motive Wave. Now, here's the thing. Motive Wave, let me give you this one right here. Because if you do this, let me see this link here. You can get, whoops, lost my, hit the wrong button there. There it is right there. With that code right there, you can get a 14-day free trial. And I would suggest that you do that first. And you don't have to use all the 14 days up, but starting today, they have their, their Black Friday special. Now, the cool thing about Motive Wave is, with TradingView, you're just basically leasing every month, right? So you're making that payment every year. You don't own the software, right? With Motive Wave, you can actually purchase the software. Now, you can just lease it if you want, the same way you do with TradingView, but you do have the option of paying of buying it, and you can pay it up in full, or you can pay it in installment payments, which is pretty awesome. And that's what I did. So I bought, I own all of the Motive Wave software and everything. But like I said, with that, you can get other things. You can get, an Elliott Wave scanner. So it'll scan whatever market you want it to scan and look for, whatever you tell it for. Elliott Wave third wave, Elliott Wave wave E of a triangle. And it'll list it all in there for you on whatever time frames you're looking for. You can do an automated Elliott Wave count. Now, the thing is with that, guys, you still have to understand what you're doing with Elliott Wave. You can't just, with it or any other Elliott Wave software, I need you guys to understand you cannot just jump in there and go, oh, that's what it's going to be. It's going to tell me exactly. No, it's still going to get it wrong sometimes because it's just software, guys. It's bound to, and Elliott Wave is a little bit more complex than that, I guess you could say. But if you do understand a bit of Elliott Wave, then using that can really help you find a lot of opportunities a lot faster, or help you figure out what may be going on a lot faster, maybe than what you can do yourself. Or, if you're into harmonics, like I said, it's got the harmonics thing on there. You can do, you've got Hertz cycles. You can do order flow on there. You can do TPO, time profit opportunity trading. There's so much that you can do there. It's so much deeper than what TradingView is. And then, of course, you've got, as I've talked to you guys about in the past, Sierra charts, which is, you've got TradingView here, which is the easy one, Motive Wave, which is this middle area, and then you've got Sierra charts over there, which is very high learning curve. It's got a very steep learning curve because you have all the power with that. But Motive Wave is a great way in between. So, if you've been in trading for a while, or if you want more power out of what you're doing, more potential indicators of sorts, sometimes a little bit more obscure that TradingView doesn't have, stuff like that, scanners of the type that I talked about, all that kind of stuff, order flow trading, all that. You can do that with Motive Wave, what you can't do actually with TradingView. So there's your links there, guys, with it. So check it out. I would definitely say use the, don't just jump in and buy Motive Wave right off. Go ahead and do the free trial there first. And test it out. Make sure it's it's something that you want, something that you find the benefit of there. And then if you're in Discord with me, and you've got questions about Motive Wave, definitely ask me about it. I'd love to share my information. Things that I know about it, and what I enjoy about it and whatnot. So anyway, there you go, guys. It just takes a little bit to just like anything else, takes a little bit to learn, but you just often find that as a trader, you get a little frustrated with the limitations of a real basic platform like TradingView. And not that TradingView is not good. I'm telling you guys, TradingView is a great platform, especially for new traders and whatnot. But its position is that it's for new traders, those who are just kind of get in and really kind of learn about it and whatnot. You get the flexibility and power you get with Motive Wave is so much greater than with that. So anyway, check them out, guys. Everyone's pushing us to have a hell of an incentive program. Not really. It's okay. It's like anything else. The affiliate program with them is just like everything else. I've been pushing Motive Wave for about a year now. So, but you know, again, it's just what your preference is, guys. This is exactly what it is. I think maybe they've kind of expanded who they're approaching. Maybe is what's going on with that. I wish somebody had great affiliate programs. Make a lot of money. Hey, what's going on, Bill? Good to see you there. Let me see here. So anyway, yeah, so that's there with that. Like I said, be watching for our Black Friday stuff coming out later this week. You guys will get that. And then you'll come here to howtotradetowin.com to do it. Let me see here. Where are we at? Oh, I did talk about the oil, right? Yeah, so here's a quick article on it right here if you guys are interested. Toss that in there for you. What's going on, Telluride? Good to see you, buddy. But yeah, so who is it? It's the U.S., China, India, Japan, South South Korea, and the U.K. Are tapping into their oil reserves. The U.S. is going to release 50 million barrels. They're saying there. So I mean, regardless, if you're following me with oil, we're basically, like I said, at the top or nearly there, and so it's going to come down anyway. But we'll let the president believe what they want to believe as far as how much control they think they have over it. It is what it is, guys. India looks like it's going to be 5 million barrels of crude. It only has about 38 million in its reserve, though. And they consume around 4 million barrels a day. So that's interesting. But anyway, yeah, so, again, you should expect oil prices to kind of drop here through the winter. So you're, I don't know how many you're actually going to be driving or traveling much during that time, but there'll be lower prices there for that. Expected anyway. Oh man, let's see what's going on here. No, that was India, Telluride. That was India that uses that much a day as far as oil goes. So yeah. All right, so here we go, guys. We got a is that Lervis Ang? Good to have you checking in. I like to see that. So we've got this this count still going off the top here. We had this slightly lower dip overnight, and then we had the big move back up and the pullback, and now we're trying to rally back up through that. So there's a couple of different ways you can look at this. The way I've got right now has this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is this kind of ending diagonal here, right? And so within that ending diagonal, we've got, wave 5 as an ending diagonal as well. And so the breakout of this possible ending diagonal here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, gives us, this descending wedge here. And so the breakout and retest are real good with that. It continues up. So, the pattern target based on the height of this here is going to be that 58,798 kind of area. All right. So if we can get a breakout above this swing high right here at 57,761.01, that should give us a move up toward this target. Looking at this here, if I zoom in a bit, let me zoom in here for you. You see what I'm looking at here? So I'm looking at potentially a 1 and then a 2 as a expanded flat here. And then that would give us a minimum wave 3 up here at this local range resistance up here at around 59,100. Now, within that, if we look at this here, it's possible we could have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 1, 2 heading up, which would take us much larger there. or even maybe a 1, 2, 3, and then maybe a flat here. So A, B, C is a 4, and that's a 5, and that still gives us a 1, 2 here, which again would lead higher than that 4 there. So you can maybe look up here toward this wave 5 target at 59,885 kind of area. But what we're looking for here is a breakout, because here's the thing. We have this count right here, potentially, and then we have this other possible count, which suggests, well, maybe this sideways action here is maybe like a triangle, okay? I'm not too excited about this count because of this area right here, but I'm going to put it there anyway, just in case. But here's the thing: if we're looking at this triangle here, and we get a breakout here above wave E, which is this 59,526 and 51 cents. So if we get a breakout above that area, that'll say either, this is a triangle and this was wave 5 and it's done. Just this short little move here and it's done and we're headed up, or this is invalidated and we're back to the other count. In either case, it would say the bottom is in right here, which means the rest of this is still going to head up here. Now, if the triangle is legit here and we're just doing maybe like a wave 1 here and a wave 2 up, well, wave 2 might hit this 15-minute, let me see here. See this 15-minute R1 pivot? It might hit that right up there at around 58, 655. So if we get that move to that area and then price drops on back down, then we can look for maybe this will be an ending diagonal here with the target here of the S1 1-hour pivot right there around 54,060 or so. As you can see, it also finds confluence here with this 1-hour demand structure EQ right there. So there's some confluence in that. So if we do get that breakdown below the swing low here, that's going to be my initial target. And then maybe we'll look down here at 51,492. That's the 50% retracement if it continued to go down below that. But again, if it does continue up and goes above that wave E there, then that tells you that this is done and we are headed up. This is the bottom here and we're headed up. So that's really all you got to look for at this moment. Does it break out above wave E here, or does it drop back down below the swing low? If it drops down below the swing low, go ahead and short at least to this S1 pivot, potentially to the 50% retracement there, 51,492. And then beyond that, you look here maybe at the S2 pivot at around 49,500 or so. But you can short and just kind of ride that down. Or if it goes up there, obviously looking for the move up higher off that. I don't think, I don't think this is anything other than just finishing out this flat correction here. Everybody, it seems like everybody on crypto Twitter, all the, a lot of your big names out there screaming, oh, look, bear market, bear market. Oh, look, it's the top, it's done. But there's absolutely nothing happening at the moment here that says that that's the case. We would definitely need some more definitive downward movement, quite a bit further down to kind of say, okay, well, maybe that is the top in there. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is try not to stress yourself out too much about it. I know even if I say that, a lot of new traders are going to still, stress out about it and whatnot. And all I can say, in that case is just zoom out, guys. Just zoom out to the bigger picture here. And so, I mean, this is basically your bigger picture. We're still within the ascending channel. Within the ascending channel here. You can look how you've got these larger movements at first, and now the prices really start to overlap here, which suggests a bottom may be forming, which is right here, and you've got the support right there. And so we're right here at the pivot. I mean, there's so much of it that that right now is much more bullish than bearish. So, but, try not to stress out about it too much. Let me see here. Telluride says, on Bitcoin, he's mainly watching on the 1 day, the ascending channel that it entered mid-June. Current support bottom of 53,000. Oh, yeah, that's right here what I was just talking about, right? Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, people are like, oh, look, it's a double top. Well, maybe, but that doesn't confirm until you drop below here. If you follow anybody out there that screams double top, and it's definitely double top and all this nonsense, before it drops down below this swing low, guys, stop following that person. They obviously don't know how to trade. They obviously don't know how to do technical analysis. It's always a potential. But until you confirm it by dropping below that swing low there, it's nothing, right? But again, remember, here's the issue. If we kind of do this, we find this target here. Let's see here. I mean, that just brings you way down below zero on your target, remember? See, I mean, so it goes way down below zero, so it doesn't make sense that this would be a double top, because your double top target doesn't remain on the positive side, it goes negative. So, again, but people are going to scream whatever they're going to scream for whatever reason they're going to scream it, right? End of the day, guys, I mean, if you need to look at anything else, here's all this support right here, right? This is all this support right here. This is the only thing we're doing right here at the high volume node. I mean, yes, it could go further, but right now screaming, oh my gosh, the sky is falling is just ridiculous. With where we are, as far as everything goes there. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, again, guys, I'm just here to, hopefully get your emotions in check. And talk about the reality of it. Okay? So that's what we're looking, as far as Bitcoin goes, it's not looking terrible at all. Just looks like it's pulling back there at the moment. And so what potentially happens is everybody and their grandmother gets scared here and sells out, and who picks it up? Your bigger players, right? Watch those large wallets. See if they're accumulating, right? Let me see here. Hey, Boris. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, again, guys, you don't get anywhere by being overly emotional in the markets. You get yourself lost usually. You lose a lot more. You just have to step back and take a deep breath and kind of look at the larger picture and say, okay, well, realistically, what's going on here? And I think a lot of the problem with amateur traders, with new traders, is that they're often so hyper focused on that 1 hour time frame or that 15-minute time frame or whatever, that they don't they don't zoom out to the one day and kind of take a look at it and go, okay, well, really, what's going on here? So the little moves in the grand scheme of things that they're making on those very short time frames, are just they're just little moves there, but they look so much larger when you're just hyper focused on that all the time. So yeah. ARM, yeah, let me know later. Remind me to look at those. I'll try to remember, but definitely remind me. I'll take a look at them, sure. Brian, what's going on, man? Good to see you here. Oh, yeah, taking profits is always a good idea. You guys know I'm all about that. But it depends on what you're doing. If you're investing, I don't think... If you're investing, you should be looking at longer time frames, and I don't think you take a profit yet. If you're trading, well, yeah, you should. There's no reason not to take a profit here or here, and then kind of load back up, when we get the confirmation that bottom may be in. I mean, it doesn't make any sense not to take that profit, to just ride this down from 69,000 to 55,000, 55,500, that area. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to lose the opportunity to make that, even if you're in U.S. And you can't really short anything. Just taking your profit here and then buying long again down here. I mean, that's a $14,000 move down, guys. That's over a 20% move down. So, realistically, if you're getting out up here, you're basically making 20% on your money by getting out up there and then longing back down here at the bottom, or whenever it curls back up there. So, yeah, if you're trading, there's no reason not to, take profits up here, and then go long back down here and take profits here or here, and then go long again down there. I know, U.S. citizens, get kind of frustrated because we can't really short whatever anymore with all the nonsense going on. But honestly, guys, you can make a lot of money just buying those dips, selling the upper move and buying the dips there. Especially if you're a trader and you do this multiple times, you're not looking at maybe the daily chart, but you're trading like a 1 hour, 4 hour chart. Yeah. Just all the constant taking the profits and then entering in lower, just constantly doing that will build you up really quick. So, yeah. I did that thing where I showed Discord there where I think it was off that 2018 low back there, where we rode that back up. And I turned like, $200, $180 into like 20 grand or something as it was rallying up there without shorting it. Taking profits at tops and, topish areas, and then longing again at bottomish areas. No leverage, thing like that. So, it can be done. It's just, it's something that just take a little bit of work. But, again, guys, in life, you either complain about the things that aren't doing the way that you want it, or you go in and you do something about it. If you just sit there and complain about it, you're not going to make any headroom, guys. If you go there and go, you know what, things are what they are, let's see how I can profit from this, you've got a lot better chance of doing it, guys, okay? What's going on, LXT? Good to see you, man. Kimosabi says, Bitcoin daily RSI has a potential buy setup with an RSI level of wave 4 coming down to the area of potential wave 2. Yeah, possibly. Like I said, when we look at this right here, what I'm looking for in this structure right here is I'm looking for the large moves that kind of become more smaller overlapping moves. And as it does that, usually that indicates, some sort of bottoms coming in, because you've got less supply and or more demand coming in that area. So yeah, you can see all this volume kicks in right in this area right here, and then it drops off as we get to here. It spikes a little bit there yesterday, but here we go back up today. It looks like that supply may be getting fatigued, and it makes sense right around that that pivot area, the 1-day pivot. That kind of support right there, which is right above this support here. As I drew that box there earlier, all that kind of stuff, high volume node, all that. So yeah. Always best to wait for confirmation. Exactly. Yeah. So Bojan, here's the thing, buddy. When I talk to traders, I've been doing this for a very long time, and I've always told traders, and this is the difficult thing for most new traders, is listen, wait for confirmations, period. Wait for confirmations. But I might miss it. Yeah, you might miss something, but most of the time you're not going to miss anything. It's a rare occasion that you're going to miss something. It's rare that price does not come back and retest its breakout. It does it sometimes, but most of the time, it does it sometimes, it just breaks out, continues going. Sometimes, most of the time, it comes back and retests. So you can either chase every single breakout, which means most of the time you're going to lose some money likely, because it's going to be a false breakout, right? Because you're not waiting for confirmation. Or you can do the smart thing and wait for confirmations and then enter, and significantly decrease the likelihood that you're going to lose money, which means your capital account is much more likely to grow rather than to shrink. Because even if you're using great risk management, the problem is if you're losing money, you're still losing money. You still have to make up that money before you can make a profit. So you should always be, as traders, you should always be looking for higher confidence trade. I know this goes completely against everything your crypto Twitter influencers, tell you, which is why they're influencers and not really traders, most of them. But the reality of it is, guys, do you want to be a flash in the pan, and are you looking for one good trade, or are you looking for consistency? If you want to be a good trader that can stick around and trade for years and years and years, you need to look for consistency. Not one trade does not a trader make. Does not a good trader make. Anybody can get lucky, guys, and get one good trade, 2 good trades, 5 good trades. But can you keep profiting year after year? That's what you're looking for. If you cannot consistently profit year after year, then you're not doing very good. You're just a gambler. Again, it was Jesse Livermore. I've told this to Twitter here recently. It's Jesse Livermore who said, I believe it was him, who said that if you are anticipating the market, then you're gambling. If you're waiting for confirmations, then you're speculating. Okay? But most traders come in and they can't wrap their head around the difference between gambling and speculating. They view the market as this big gambling thing, and it's not. If you're going to treat it like that, it's going to treat you like a gambler. It's going to take your money. But if you treat it like a speculator's game, if you treat it as something where you can make a living at it, where you can do it day in and day out and over the term be successful, make more money than you lose, well, heck, you can do that. But again, if you come in treating it like a gambling, guys, if you're always anticipating, what we mean by anticipating is not waiting for those confirmations. It's coming down there going, oh, yeah, I think that's it. I think it's going to go, so I'm going to go ahead and go long. Well, nobody cares what you think. The market doesn't care what you think. Market doesn't care about your emotions. So wait for the confirmations. It'll do you a lot better, guys, seriously. So, like I said, wait for confirmations. That's what it's all about. Let me see here. Okay, well, if we're going to say silly things like that, we're just going to get you out of here. I teach serious stuff here, man. People, making silly jokes that have nothing to do with this. If I was an influencer, that might kill my business. Thankfully, I make no money influencing, so I don't have to worry about it. Anyway, yeah, so that's what we got kind of going there, guys. Hey, listen, man, so what's going on with the really, the legacy markets, right? So legacy markets, man, really, man, oh, man. Dow Jones has been printing down for a while now. Let me see here. We'll go right here, paste in there. So the Dow here, as you can see, we've potentially made this macro high here, potentially up here on November 8th. We've continued to go down since then. The overnight decline here has dipped price right below what I believe may be wave 1 here. And so I've got ABC. It could be, WXY here. Nonetheless, we're just talking about a wave 2 correction. If it continues down here, then that stands. If price rallies back up to this area up here, then it's going to suggest that maybe we've got a flat correction for wave 2 playing out. So, A, B, and we'll get a C up here. And we may be looking right about this area, 35, about 36,000, or even R1 up here around 36,100. And then we'd look for that pullback here. But as long as we continue to break down from where we're at here, below the swing low this morning, that should give us this wave 3 down here at around 34,684. Now, that's the Dow, right? So that's November 8th on that high up there. Now, I've got the Nasdaq Composite here. Let's pull back over here. It's got this high right here on the 22nd. And so it's got this big move down here. So you've got what amounts to a 1, 2. It looks like we've got a 3, maybe a 4 in here. So we're looking for this and then a full down to give us 5, okay? So we're looking 5 down. A breakdown below wave 4 here at 15,543 and 68 would be the first clue that this top is likely in. Let me see here. If we're looking at this as a 1, 2 right here, that gives us a wave 3. You see it right here, right above that 4. So that could be the wave 3 right there potentially. Like I said, you get a wave 4 and you're looking for a wave 5 down. So you're looking for 5 waves down that breaks down below wave 4 here to potentially say, okay, maybe that tops in. We really need to kind of get down here below this wave 4 at 14,181 and 69 here to really kind of say, okay, well, I think that's what, that's it. That's the top there. But we look locally. We get 5 down, 3 up, 5 down, 3 up, and 5 more down. A little larger term 5. Then we're really looking good. But nonetheless, non-confirmation on this new high here with the Dow. And then, of course, we can jump here in with the S&P. I've got the E-minis right here. Which, if you guys are trading legacy markets, you're not trading E-minis, man. I don't know what you're doing. These are the E-minis for the S&P. One of the most global, one of the most liquid, highly traded instruments out there. And so they had, again, their swing high up here on the 22nd as well. So basically what it looks like we had the Dow head up and then pull back first, and then we have the Nasdaq and the S&P kind of following up afterward and now pulling back with it. And so we'll see what's going on here. I've got this potentially here as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. And then, so that's a 1 and a 2, and then maybe a 1, 2 working here. This gives us a wave circle 3 minimum target right here around 45, 57, and 25. So that's what I'm looking for there. If we break out above this wave 2 right here, which is basically this 1 hour pivot, then, that'll change things. But this looks like a pretty clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. So, and then of course, A, B, C up here. So, it's making, and it got rejected at the pivot. So, it's making a good case for potentially heading lower there with that. What is happening? What's up, man? Nice new green avatar there. LXT says another week, another hat. Yeah, man. I've got so many hats. I figured maybe I'd start wearing them on here and see how long it took you guys to really say anything about it. I'm from West Texas, man. I wear hats all the time. So, let me see here. What else you guys saying here? Hey there, TV Canal. Good to see you. Let's see here. Hank says, for what it's worth, all that I am watching says local bottom is in or near. Yeah, I think so as well. But I think, that's it. And then we, head higher there. The question is, how much movement do we get? Again, legacy markets here in the U.S. are closed on Thanksgiving Day, which is Thursday. They're closed. They close early on Fridays at 1 p.m. Eastern. The reality of it is most traders are usually taking an extra day early, so they're usually out Wednesday or maybe half a day on Tuesday. And then most of them don't even come back for that nonsense, that half-day thing on Friday. Your bond market, I think, is going to close 1 or 2 p.m. Eastern on Friday as well. And, of course, they're closed on Thursdays. Your FX markets, guys, the FX market itself is still open worldwide, but U.S. brokers and whatnot are going to be closed, Thanksgiving Day. So what all this means is, guys, is a lot less volume coming in. And you say, oh, but this is crypto's 24/7. Yeah, but when you're looking at people that are moving that big money, they're usually in these other positions in these companies, Three Arrows Capital, stuff like that. And they're usually, going to be closed there for the holidays. So that's a lot of volatility that doesn't happen, a lot of volume that doesn't come in during that time. So what it means is if, it's possible as we get through this week and into the weekend that, if they want to send it up, if they want to send Bitcoin up, for instance, it might really kind of rock it up. It's possible because there won't be a lot of other money sitting there fighting for it or fighting against it. So, just as usual, guys, when the U.S. has its holidays, just be a little bit more careful when you're in the markets because, that lack of volume in there could, make it easy for it to really kind of pop and drop and stuff like that. Again, same thing to the downside. It could really drop good as well with that. So you just got to be careful out there. Let me see here. Forex has definitely been much more interesting. Been easy money with Forex, guys. If you're long in the dollar against pretty much anything, it's been really easy money for the most part. You just short the euro against the dollar, short the cable against the dollar. You can long the dollar against the yen. That's been a good trade for me lately as well. USD CAD is interesting. Oil kind of made a bump today. Let me see here. Oil, we're still kind of iffy on oil at the moment here. I don't know if the top's in or if maybe it's got one more up. And, of course, that affects your USD CAD, right? So we've got this strong move up this morning, which suggests maybe that wave 4 is complete and we've got this leading diagonal. It's carried it above the H1 pivot here. And so in that case, we're looking at, let me see here. Initial target right here around that $88 area, and then secondary target up here maybe around 92.74. If it does that, but it's got to break out, above. You're really looking wave. I mean, it's always wave B, right? It's always that, or wave X. So you're going to get confirmation added to the count if it breaks out here above wave B at 84.97. Until then, this could just be 1, 2, 1, working on 2 here. I would watch this area right here around the high volume node, right there around that 81.5, 82 area. Maybe even up here at 83. I would watch this kind of area right here. If price cannot get above that, it gets rejected and sent back down, then this may just be a 1, 2, 1, 2, and wave 5 may actually be complete up here. Now, if that happens, if oil gets that move back down, then, that'll, the USD CAD bottom should be in at that point already. If, however, oil continues to break out through that, then it's likely to send the USD CAD down to one more lower low as oil hits one more higher high here as it goes in there. So, if you're trading the USD CAD, just pay attention to your oil prices and your dollar and the US dollar as it does it. Again, as the oil prices rise, the Canadian dollar gets strength because, so much of its revenue is based on its oil exports. So rising oil prices mean they get paid more for oil, which means the value of, CAD goes up. Canadian dollar, they're the loonie. But, if the price of oil goes down, then the value of the loonie is going to take a hit. And so if that takes a hit while the dollar is also gaining strength, that's a double whammy there, right? So the Canadian dollar is losing value because of the oil prices dropping, and it's paired against the USD, which is gaining strength. So, like I said, double whammy there gives a good potential strong upside for the USD CAD if oil prices drop and USD continues to rise there. I don't care much for the USD peso, the Mexican peso, but it's been treating you very well on quick trades. Yeah, no, I don't hate it. Matter of fact, I don't know. It's been so long since I've looked at it. Let me see here. See what that looks like at the moment. The only thing about the Mexican peso, it's a minor pair. It's not a major pair, so it costs more to trade it and whatnot. These are the things you have to worry. Have to think about when you're trading there. Look at that 1 hour though. Nice move up there. I don't even know what the. Oh wow. Oh wow. That actually looks really good. Looks like a potential double bottom here. Adam and Eve double bottom. Breakout above this swing high right here would indicate right there at 21.63455 would validate it. Let's see here. Go ahead and write this on here real quick. What was that? 21.63455. Let's see. I'm going to write that in there too. Why not? All right. So yeah, and it looks like you may get some sort of leading diagonal here. So you get a 5, you get a pullback down toward this 20.5 area. And then, so there'd be a 1, 2, and then a 3 on the breakout. Yeah, it looks like. Man, and I like this right here. I like this. Kind of finding that support right around this kind of resistance area. Let me see here. And weekly setting up for a potential breakout above that weekly. See, 3-day looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then maybe A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is C. And then 1, 2. Or it's way up there. So yeah, I mean, overall, it looks like the USD is on a rally against that Mexican peso there. Here, the monthly. Oh, monthly still got a lot of room here to go. Yeah, we'll see if we can get that breakout above it. Right now we're getting through this monthly supply right here in this wick from back there in March of 21. So if we can break out above that, that really kind of sets us up for some movement up higher there. Let me see here. Taywriter says it moves a lot. Wicks, so tight stops have bitten me a couple of times, but that's learning. But then have been scalping it, so tight stops are really tight. Hank's got a tight stop as well. He said he longed the Euro USD at 1.255. Let's see here. Well, the USD CAD correlation with oil right now, again, oil's been going sideways down here at the lows. So as long as oil's going sideways and the dollar's rising in value, the USD CAD is going to rise, right? So, I mean, because ultimately, it's the CAD against, it's the loonie against the buck. And so if oil is just kind of doing this sideways, it's going down and or sideways, which it's really just been kind of going sideways here, a lot of overlap, last few days. A little bit more than that. But even before that, we had that sideways, right? We had the sideways, then went up and came back down. We're doing sideways. So really, oil's been kind of doing this sideways thing for a while now. So, that leaves the loonie vulnerable to whatever the USD is doing. So since the buck is continuing to rally anyway, you see that USD loonie continue to move up there. And that's why you've got that correlation thing you're talking about there. So we'll see. Let me see here. LXT says lockdown in Germany incoming. Isn't Austria locking down everybody again or making... I can't remember if it's Austria's locking everybody down or if they're making it locking down the unvaccinated or something like that, right? So, and then of course, again, Germany lockdown, but Germany's been slowing down with their same thing what I'm trying to say here. Germany's the steam engine there of the euro. The Eurozone, and GDP is down. So, again, it's just more of, right? More of the same, right? I really like this, man. Tell you what, I'm glad you told me about this, man. I'm glad I take a look here. I think I want to, play a little bit with some USD against yen here. USD against the Mexican peso. Turkish lira getting demolished again. That's same old going on there. I feel sorry for all my friends over there in that area. Man, it's just tough. It's tough right now with that. Australia is moving people into camps. Is that legit? It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. It's gosh. In the grand scheme of things, when we look at the actual number of deaths related to it, it's no different really than the flu. The swine flu was a lot worse. And the swine flu was a lot worse, and we never, did anything like this with it. So it's kind of crazy that they're going to such extremes there. But, again, we do what we can do, right, guys? You just hope it doesn't continue to get worse with the governments and things they do. But, it's a tough situation all around. With the response more than anything, I think. I think the governmental response is what's causing a lot of the issues that we're having, as far as economies and GDP and, all this other stuff. So, yeah. Let me see here. Ace and Risk, what's going on, Ace? So much of the modern world takes currency stability for granted. Well, things have been what they've been for so long. I remember trading Forex in the, 2000 to 2008, 2010 kind of area there. And basically it was the carry trade, man. It was all about, sitting on that Aussie dollar, long in that Aussie dollar against things. They were paying out such great interest. So, they had such a high interest rate there, doing so well with that. Euro went up, cable went up. It was pretty easy to deal with it there. And then we've had what we've had since 2010, 12, which has been kind of this whole kind of reversal thing going on with the U.S. dollar now, making its way up from back then. And I mean, again, this is the way kind of the markets work there. But it seems like really it's been the last, what is this, 2021 right now? So probably since about 18, maybe 17, 18, where it's been very low volatility in general for the markets, currency markets, other than what happened there in March of last year and whatever. But really, it's just been, as far as volatility goes, it's just been really, really low volatility. And here we go now, starting to pick it up a bit. So yeah, definitely interesting. What's up, Fuel TV? You're going to be all over that Black Friday special? I love to hear that, man. I love to hear that. What's going on, Mike? Good to see you checking in. Let me see here. Hank is saying in Australia, it's quarantine camps for people who can't afford to stay in hotels. Media having a field day with the word camps, of course. Yeah, media is what it is, guys. If I can give you one word of advice just in general, stop listening to media. Everything. Back in the day, man, I mean, there's always been people who use their platform to kind of push their agenda and their ideas and whatever. But more or less, back, a few decades back, man, media was really about just kind of giving you the news and letting you more or less decide what you felt about it for the most part. These days, man, it seems like anybody in any journalistic, position, it's all about projecting their thoughts onto you and trying to get you to side with them and what they think and going on. You have to be really careful with that, especially if you're trading. But so many of these people who call themselves journalists and reporters really aren't. They have no real training. It's because they can create a blog site online and then call themselves a journalist, that they do that. But again, even with the big media properties, it still has become this big, we want to push our agenda, whatever it happens to be, whether it's, Republican, Democrat, progressive Democrat, whatever it is. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you're trading based on those types of information, you're going to lose more money than you'll probably make. If we just get back from the understanding that what happens in the charts is a representation of how people generally feel, of the social mood, as we call it, right? So as long as we take that and we understand that the charts follow the mood rather than the other way around, then you're all right. You're all right. It's when you start thinking that the charts determine the mood that you get in trouble. Okay? God, clickbait is such a big thing. And that's really bad here with what we do at trading, guys. Again, you've got all those people out there, and I see all these courses and whatnot, and I've purchased a few just to kind of check them out, right? Because this is what I do, right? And I look in there, and I so many of them are full of half truths and outright lies. Yet they're getting you to buy it because they're promising you things. They're telling you exactly what you want to hear. They're like, look at my system here; it'll make you rich. I mean, that's basically the essence of what they're saying. And when you buy it and you look at it from a point of understanding, from a point of knowledge, you look and you go, what are you talking about? It's crazy. But yet they're claiming, all these hundreds of thousands of people are buying it. And, if they are, man, that's a lot of lost money there. But this is on you guys, though. It's not, I mean, them selling the nonsense is on them, but it's on you for buying it if you buy it, because at the end of the day, you're still making that decision to do so. It doesn't matter that, you believe them or whatever. The fact is, you bought it, So, but this is the good thing, if you get yourself in a situation like that, don't give up trading. Just understand that you made a mistake. And then when you recognize that you did and you take that responsibility, it helps you accept it. And by accepting it, it helps you to be able to move beyond it and to change what you're doing so you don't continue to make that same mistake. I talk to traders, guys, all the time. And a lot of things I hear is they go and they're like, I bought this one and this one and this, and they keep buying the same nonsense because it keeps telling them the same thing. You don't have to know what you're doing. You don't have to do much. You can learn to do this in 5 minutes. You'll be a millionaire next month. these kind of things, and people keep falling for it. And we just see it over and over and over again now with the Black Friday stuff. And it's absolutely crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy. I'm not saying, man, you need to buy. I think we're the best thing out there. But, just because, my approach to it is so much all about you really learning rather than, this is my business to sell this stuff, right? If I don't sell it, I don't eat kind of thing. But, it just means that whatever you do want to take out there, if it's ticking boxes, if it's saying this is easy, if it's saying you can learn to do it in 5 minutes, if it's saying you can make all this money in this short period of time, these are warning signs that they're just preying on you, that they're telling you what you want to hear because they know that if they do, you're going to do it. You're going to buy from them. So whatever it happens to be, guys, just pay attention to that, okay? And I know some people are going to say, oh, you're just saying that because they're competitors, blah, blah, blah. If that's your opinion, guys, do what you need to do. But, I can't make you, understand where I'm coming from with this. Unless you actually, unless you're actually at the point where you don't need those things, right? So it is what it is. I just do my part, guys. Try to help you out a little bit. What's the dollar doing right now? Let's see. Am I doing a course on NFTs? You know what? I'm actually looking at some stuff with NFTs. I don't know that I'm going to do a course on it or anything like that. But, I recognize, as I've told you guys, that I don't have a good base for NFTs. I don't know enough about them to really have a very informed position other than the craziness that we saw leading up to, the last month or so was just really, just general market behavior was really exuberant. And so, other than that, as far as NFTs themselves go, I, again, didn't have a whole great real background on it. So part of what I'm going to be doing over this Thanksgiving Day holiday, Thanksgiving week holiday here, is actually looking at it a little bit more and trying to get more in-depth understanding. So yeah. Let me see here. Asimir says I'll be releasing it on April 1st, April Fool's Day, right? We do reward bad journalism, yeah, and it's unfortunate, guys. It is unfortunate. Let me see here. Tupac's white brother, what's up, man? He says getting hammered on futures today. What futures are you getting hammered on, man? What'd you do? Let me see here. Anyway, so the dollar here, this is the hourly chart here. We rallied up here to the R1 pivot, kind of finding some range here between that R1 pivot and the previous resistance here as support area. I've still got that wave 3 target minimum right there at 96.739. If however we're dropping from where we are below 96.309, that might suggest that wave 3 is actually here, or maybe here with a flat correction coming ahead up. But the problem with that is we're already so close to that wave 1 right there. I mean, if I look at this, I go, okay, maybe 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so then you got 1, 2, 3, right? Potentially. But for right now, while we're continuing here, I'm going to leave that wave 3 where we're at there. Overall, looks like, we should just be continuing higher here. 1 hour, we are dipped down here into oversold, crossing back bullishly now. We moved in sideways between the pivot and the R1. If we just continue rallying up through that, that's going to be a real show of strength here in terms of trading pivots. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it rallying, up higher here through the end of the week. But if it does pull back, we want to see that pivot hold. If we lose the pivot, so basically if we drop down below wave 2, here's what I'll say, which is right above the pivot. Right there at about 95.799. If we drop down below that, that's going to invalidate this count right here. Maybe it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 there. So then we've got a 1 there and then a 2. But even if that's a 1 and this is a 2 on the pullback, I don't think we should be dropping below the pivot. I think a pivot should provide support if it gets that low. We head back up there. But overall, I mean, nothing's really changed. Still looking at the same things here as far as this goes. Let's get this all kind of filled back in here. Yeah. This is all extra stuff over here, so. Yeah. So basically you're 1-2 right here and working off that. It's been a nice roll, you know, a nice run up there. Again, potentially the idea that we got a left shoulder, a double head here, and then a right shoulder there. Gives you that target up there of around, I don't know, do I have it on this one? Yeah, there we go. So you can see here this bigger picture here. You can see that we broke cleanly out above the ascending channel resistance there. And basically that split the last 2 days candles. You see it right there where they kind of split is where it went through it. We're rallying up here just about the R4 on the daily, the R4 pivot there on the daily. This right here is the dollar futures, the DXY futures here, which is why you have volume on that. You can trade this on ICE, the International Continental Exchange. But, you know, again, right here, if this is this inverted head and shoulders here, left shoulder, one head, two head for a complex, and then right shoulder here, and the breakout, then that gives us a target up here at around that, you know, that 98,725 kind of area. And of course, below that here at 97.77 is this blue swing target up here. So we drop through this wave 4 here. We're breaking above that. That's the first clue that maybe this is the macro bottom here as we watch it continue to build up. So, you know, right now we're just kind of hitting this overlapping area right here. So a little bit more resistance coming in there, but man, I mean, it's been a great rally off January. It's been a great rally off the beginning of the year, right? So yeah, we'll see. Let me see here. Just gonna catch up with you guys here. Y'all still talking about NFTs? The art world is definitely something, guys. I'll tell you what. But anyway, yeah. So dollar rallying up there. If you're interested in you know, precious metals, guys, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you here. Still kind of doing the same old that we've been talking about. It looks like wave 2 may be complete up here. We need to get a breakdown below wave circle B here at 23,045. This is silver. If we get a breakdown through that, that should confirm this is 3 waves up. And then we've got a wave 3 minimum expected target down here at $11.04 right here. But that's you know, that's what we got going on with silver at the moment here. So we'll see what happens. We break out above wave 2. Of course, that's going to invalidate that. But potentially we've got this, you know, we got a 50% retracement right here in what appears to be 3 waves. So, you know, it makes a pretty solid wave too. It's also, as you can see here, it's the H4 pivot right now. Popped up above it and got rejected and sent back down. Now we're dropping below the daily pivot there. So, yeah. But, you know, and gold's no different, you know, as you would normally expect, right? By the way, real quick, before I do gold, remember, guys, this is the big thing here. We've been going sideways with silver here since back up over here. Reached that high in August of 20. So over a year, we've been kind of doing this sideways thing. And, you know, again, from this February spike here, this February 21 into January 21 spike, you know, we've got a low. So we got our high and we got a low. We got a lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. So, you know, we've got that bearish market structure off that swing high there. Locally, again, we've got that, you know, high, low, higher low, higher high. But again, we break down below that swing and that stops that local bullish market structure and sends it back down. It becomes still part of this overall bearish market structure. because again, high, low, lower high. We'll have a lower low, potentially lower high, but that won't count in terms of market structure until we break down below that swing low. Because until that, price could still turn around and head up, right? So it's a potential lower high here, but it has to break down below this $21.41 to confirm it as a lower high. And then we're in this, this area of a lower low now. So, again, silver, it is what it is there, right? If we drop down through the swing low here, that gives us a lot of room to drop pretty easily a few dollars down here into, 19 or so, which just kind of gets us right around this area. See? Kind of see how this structure works out here. Depending on what you're looking at. Depending on how you're counting it. I've got a couple of different counts going on with it. If the bottom is down here, then, potentially we've got a 1-2 kind of thing going, or A, B, C here is a 2, and then heading up. But again, we'll continue working as it works out, but we're just kind of playing it as it does locally there. I've got a another count, which is the more bearish count, which has it as a wave B up here, and then we've got wave C coming on down again below $10, probably $8 or something like that. But with that in mind, if we jump on over to gold, there's gold kind of doing the same thing, except gold hasn't dropped below its below its ascending channel support yet, and it hasn't dropped below the daily pivot yet. So silver had dropped below both of those. If you guys will remember on that previous chart here, it's dropped through the ascending channel support. It's dropped through the pivot. So it's just got that wave B support to go through. And then gold, of course, not quite yet. Its wave B sits here at 17.21 and 10 cents. So if it can drop through that, then that should say wave 2 is done, and we've got a wave 3 minimum expected target at 14.94 and 10 cents. Now, with my count right now that says maybe 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's wave 3 of 1, 2, 3. Again, looking for price to potentially reach down here. At least around $1,000 or so, potentially down here toward 840 or so, which gets us just the EQ of this demand structure right here. So, anything can still happen. We can still do it. I've talked to Discord about the possibility that maybe we've got some sort of triangle going on here. And so if we do, we'd still have further down, but, it may find its support, at 1,500 or 1,400 or whatever to finish wave C. This becomes a 1 and then a C on a 2 and then up. So, I'm still conscious of that possibility. But, again, this still leads us down toward that area. So we'll see here how it continues to play out with that. Let me see here. Hank's still bullish on gold, he says. So there's that. I tell you, Ryder says, I feel bad for gold and silver bugs still buying the dip because brr. Yeah. Again, guys, I was one of those people that used to believe that that maybe gold was this inflation hedge kind of thing. But, the longer I trade, the more and more it just seems to be a trade, just like any other trade, really. And so I treat it as such. I don't worry about it a whole lot as far as, some kind of inflation hedge or whatever. If it looks like it's heading up, going up. If it looks like it's heading down, we're short. But, again, all this sideways over that daily pivot or that weekly pivot doesn't give a whole lot of positiveness, a whole lot of bullishness, because, again, it should be, if the bottom's in, it should just rally up through that pivot and keep on. But it just continues to goof around and has done it, basically all year long as the dollar's done its thing. So we'll see what happens with it all. So, if it's going down, guys, sell it. If it's going up, buy it. Don't spend so much time worrying about all these narratives of hedging and against inflation and stuff like that, especially in terms of Bitcoin. Stop using that. again, guys, I like Bitcoin. You know that. I own it. But we've got to call silliness where we see silliness. And the idea that some hyper volatile asset is going to be a hedge against inflation doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't. So yeah, again, inflation rears its ugly head. Government goes in, the Fed goes in, raises the interest rates. That puts what you would expect. The economy is going to slow down with higher interest rates because it costs more to rent that money, right? It costs more to borrow that money, and so it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It really doesn't. But it is what it is. So yeah. What about Bitcoin sideways at the daily pivot, but still under the 4-hour pivot? Let me see what you're talking about. You mean just right here? No, this is different from what I'm talking about here. This is the entire, look, from the pivot, from when the pivot begins, it's all the way sideways, the entire pivot. So it's just going sideways across that pivot. Bitcoin is just right here. If you missed the beginning of the show, go ahead and zoom back to that afterward, and you'll see what I talked about with this right here. But this right here, this little bit of trying to find support right here is different than this over this whole thing here, over the entire life of the pivot there. So yeah. Let me see here. Day Rider, you put all your silver into a heavy-duty tool bag, and now it's a kettlebell, so it does you some good. But yeah, as far as the 4-hour pivots goes, it tried to rally above it. It got rejected. If I take off all this here. I mean, it didn't really, it actually, I guess it didn't try to get above it here. It actually dropped down between the pivot and the S1. It didn't rally, so it fell. And so, again, usually you're looking for a reversal around the S4 or S5 pivot. Oh, this is gold. Same idea. You might be looking for a reversal around there. You've got that swing low right there, though. So, still watching how that plays out. We need that drop down below 17,1850 is what we really need to see on gold. Let's go back to Bitcoin, though, which you were talking about here. There we go. Yeah, so right here, rejected prior to the pivot, moves in sideways between the pivot and the S1, moves on down toward the S1. You look for a bounce in this area, and you want to see it rally above the pivot. If it does that, it should send us up all the way. It should send us up higher, toward the tops of those R pivots there. But again, if it were to kind of just do this thing throughout it, it would be the same thing I was talking about on gold here. Well, I guess the weekly, right? There we go. That weekly there where you've got this, and it's not very bullish or otherwise at that time. Yeah. So right now, if I was just trading pivots, I look here and I go, okay, we're dropping through this daily pivot. So the first thing I want to know is where is that 4-hour S1? And because usually if you're doing something like this, it means you're below the 4-hour pivot and above the S1. And so then I'll look for that S1, and I'll look for, okay, my expectation is we're going to come in down toward this S1 to potentially test it as support because we came in sideways between the pivot and the S1. And then I want to see it rally above that swing high at the pivot there. And if we can get that, that's usually a good indication to go long higher up. If, however, we continue to drop down through that S1 pivot, then the same thing as if we're moving up through the R1 pivot here, we keep going where it's really bullish. If we're just dropping through and continue on, that becomes a lot more bearish. And then we look for that S4, S5 pivot usually. If we bounce off the S1, rally to the pivot, get rejected, and then drop through the S1, again, we're looking at S3, potentially S4 minimum on that move down. Just trading pivots. So that's how you do that. All right, let's get this person out of here. Add to the block list. But yeah, you know, it's just you know, we had all this cruddy kind of price action over here, and we've got it over here again, which makes it real questionable what may be potentially going on. But we've got the two possibilities again, either the triangle here, or potentially, you know, just this kind of count going on down here. Let me zoom in here. As you can see, there's a lot of room here on the 4 hour. We had this bullish divergence at the lows here. A lot of RSI and Stochk RSI room there for 4 hour to continue higher. Daily, of course, is just here under oversold or undersold. So we got a lot of room to go on there, possibly if it's going to, right? 1 hour, we're kind of up here, but we've got room still in Stochk RSI. We're trying to cross bullishly here and break out into overbought again. But, you know, again, what you have to look for is that breakout above this one right here. This is wave E on that triangle right here. So you're looking for a breakout on this right here to say, okay, either triangle's invalidated and the other count, you know, that we're looking at here is valid and we're headed up, or you look at somehow maybe this is wave 5 here. Maybe it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just ending diagonal here, and it's done either way. It's going up. But if you're getting above this level here, 59, 526, 51. Oops. Then that should indicate that price that the bottom is likely in, and we're heading up higher there off that. So that's really what I'm looking for, guys. That's where my interest is. Do we pop out above that, or do we drop down below the swing low? Again, if we're dropping down below the swing low, our first target is that 4 hour, 1 hour pivot there, right around 54,100. Becomes that initial target there. What's going on, Richie LaBamba? I don't know. We're going to figure that out. Visiting family, so yeah. We'll see what they're doing. So many people get hurt, man. I don't know do you guys know what turduckens are? If you don't know what a turducken is, you should look it up. It's something like that. It's how it's spelled. But it's a thing that we do down here many times. So, yeah. Should be interesting. It's better than a tofurkey? Yeah, no kidding, right? Tofu is not allowed. Not in my house, man. Let me think here. What else do we have? Somebody was asking for something to look up. I can't remember who that was. Let me know which one you were wanting me to look up. It was like, was it PYR? Is that what it was? Let me know. Ah, there you are. Look at that. Let's see here. PYR has hit my Discord target today near the hourly R1 pivot. So what do we got here? Let me do that. Yeah, look at that. Hit the target up there. Let's see. Yeah, I think, man, this looks really good coming off here on this 4 hour. We moved in sideways here. You know, we kind of moved in sideways between the pivot and the R1, but we really tested that R1 pivot. We rallied up. I would expect, if the top is in there, it looks like it might be, I would expect maybe a pull down and then rally back on up off that. I would expect us to stay above the pivot. I think the only reason you don't go long is if you drop below the pivot. And that might suggest that something else is going on. But I think from this particular location right here, we'll just pull back. If that's the top right there, we'll pull back down into this support area here. Around 26.5 or so. Maybe 26, that area there. And then rally up and, you know, rally up through it. Heading up here toward this R5 pivot up here at 57. Let me see here. Yeah, we're breaking. Yeah, we're breaking out right there above the R1 pivot here on the. This is the daily. Yeah, that looks really good. We retested this pivot here So yeah, it should. What did I say as far as pulling back to? What did I say here? Locally. Yeah, probably that. If we did happen to drop down through that 4-hour pivot, I would look right around this kind of area here, this $20 to $21 range, which is kind of like this high volume node, top of this high volume node right here where you've got all this activity. If we drop down, that's where I'd be looking for that reversal and heading back up. You know, because it's possible. Could do something like this. Which would give you then this R3 daily pivot around 44.75, 45 kind of area as that next target on that pullback. But we do have this bearish divergence. We've got divergence in volume as well. Wave 3, this should be your wave 3 here. Wave 4, and then working on wave 5 here. Lower volume. So yeah, it looks like if it's not done, it should be done pretty close to that area. And then we'll pull back. Like I said, we may pull back here to around $21, $22 right here at the top of this high volume node. And then we get that rally back up. Gives us that next target up at the R3 right around 45. Whatever I said that was right there. Around 45, 44.75 to 45, around that area. Yeah. So, 3-bird roast. Louis Winthorpe III, what's up, man? Yeah, turducken, right? Let me see here. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at as far as that goes. AVAX USDT. Give me just a moment here. Let me grab some water real quick. Oh man. Let's see here. Oh, let's see. That one wanted to keep on going up, it looks like. Kind of zoom in a bit here. It looks like you might have an ending diagonal here for 5. Locally, what I'm looking for here, moved in sideways between the R1 and the pivot on the 6-hour here. This kind of area. Right there about that wave 5 there. Let me see, what do we got here? It looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, A, B, C up. So it could be A, B, C here. I want to see, do we get a breakout right here above 132? If we do locally, you know, we're looking for the swing high up here. If we're breaking out above this right here at 145, that should indicate that we're heading higher there. If we break down below the swing low here, though, I think we may drop down below that pivot. That's what we want to watch. Do we get a rally from here or from the pivot that rallies back up above that? Because if we do, this is possible. This could be yeah, no. That's what I want to see. I want to see, does this pivot hold? If this pivot holds and it rallies back above it, because look at that 4 hours oversold as well. The dollar showing this, or not the dollar, the daily showing this, well, really it's just this right here. So it's that is your bearish divergence, and then it's down. This is not your bearish divergence over here on the daily. This was your bearish divergence here. When it went from here to up here, and then you got that pullback, and then it's heading up there. So, yeah, I mean, if I'm looking at this, man, if we can get that breakout above there, Looks like pretty good reaccumulation right there. I think we continue up higher. I mean, I think we look at 173 there, where I've got this other target. Minimum, yeah. I want to see what happens locally here right now. It's possible this could have ended as an ending diagonal up here. So if we can rally off this pivot and head up, you know, minimum 173, and then we'll look higher. But if we lose this pivot, we've really got, on the 6 hour here, we've got this demand block right here. So really, if we're losing that, you know, we're going to look at least at the S1 here at 92, basically, $92. And then I like this high volume node here at 65. But it's all going to depend on what happens here. Do we drop down below or do we break out above? So yeah, that's what I would look. XRP Bandit, what's up, man? Christian, hello. It says, is Chainlink done yet? Is Chainlink what? Chainlink USD, Chainlink Bitcoin? Which one? I don't think it's done yet. Chainlink USDT. But you'll have to let me know which one you're asking about. Let's see here. What's going on, Blaze? Good to see you checking in. Common Man, what's up, man? Appreciate it. He says, when it's convenient, could you take a look at... Oh, man, my eyes. I'm so old. IONQ, Quantum Computing Hardware and Software Company. Old friend told me about it. Maybe buy a dip? Well, why don't we just take a look? Let's see here. Oops. IONQ. I can't do it. Really? All right, let's take a look at what we got here. Oh, man. This is brand new, huh? Let's see here. They lost. They're down on. Oh gosh, yeah. 71.5% surprise to the downside. That isn't good. Revenue 233,000 versus 250. But if I'm looking at this, 1, 2. Looks like 3, 4, 5. God, that looks like 5 down. See, this looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, which would give us 3 up, which means it'll probably, if it rallies from here, it'll probably hit that pivot right around 27.5 and then get rejected down. If the 5 is done here. Let me see here. Hey, you're welcome, ARM. Glad you guys are checking in, hanging out a little bit. Let me see here. See if it does that. If we can get this as an A here, get a B on that pivot. Wave C will equal wave A right here at about the 61.8 retracement. So I mean, that you know, that's something we would expect. I'm just trying to see real quick here if this is maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, or, but I don't think so. It looks like it's 5 down. I'm trying to get a closer look at that. One, two, three, A, B, C, D, E. So maybe a triangle in here. Can I get 5 here? So one thing, again, guys, one of the things you get with us over TWC is I give you a lot of information that most people don't give you because most people don't know, right? So when you have your pivots, your standard pivots on there, usually your wave B on a pullback is going to be at that pivot. So like we're looking at the 1 hour here. So normally we would expect that it would be right there at the pivot. Oh, there's 5. So we get this to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5. A, B, C, D, E. So you can have an A, a B as a triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you C. So it looks like we may have an ABC down and done here, not going any lower. This would give us a 1, 2 right here, which means I'd be looking for, if we can get impulsive breakout above this swing high right here at 24.57. Look at that. Wave 3 would hit this high volume node almost perfectly right there around 28.06. So I don't know, you buy some puts. I mean, not some puts, but some calls. And get rid of them, as it approaches that target there. But, again, there'd be a short-term kind of options trade there. But, yeah, I think if you get a breakout, impulsive breakout here, boom, above that level, we should be heading up there to that. So I think we've probably got an A, B, and a C there. Yeah. And so locally then, again, that you notice that wave 3 is going to be right here above. It's right here at wave B. It's right here at the high volume. It's right there at the pivot. All that confluence right there. So that should break on out above it. It's minimum wave 3. It could overextend on the way there. But the idea would be, if the bottom's in, the idea would be that you break out here, you come back, you retest it, and then you continue up. That would be, you would get a retest of this 1 hour, 4 hour pivot here, and then rally on up, break out above that swing high. Now, when it gets that swing high, it's probably not going to go right through it. So you could do something like this, and then get up in this area maybe, and then boom, and then come down, and then head back up there. So you kind of do this local retest here when price tops out around the R1. Come back, test this triangle area right above the pivot, and then rally on back up. And most likely that'll be 5 waves heading up there. So you get a 1, you get a 3 back for a 2, and you head back up there for a 3. So yeah. Do I do all charts? What do you mean? With what we do with TWC? Yeah, we do all markets, legacy, commodities, metals, FX. Yeah. So yeah, we do that. Common Man, you're welcome, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's looking like that when we zoomed in there, that looks like potentially, like I said, A, B here, C. Big picture, you want to get above your wave B, triangle wave E of B kind of area. So you want to get above, what is this, 28.15. You want to get above that level to add confidence to the idea that bottom's in, bigger picture wise. And then at that point, you're going to be looking at heading out above there, making new all-time highs, most likely. Like I said, in the structure there, you'll probably get some move up toward this area up here by the R1 pivot. That usually will complete wave 1. Wave 2 will usually then pull back toward this congestion here, but stays, finds support on the pivot or just above it. And then wave 3 is that breakout higher usually. So yeah. Let's see. You're tempted to speculate into it right now, but I might wait to see if it heads down lower. It's on the watch. Yeah, like I continue to say, guys, again, repeating Jesse Livermore again and again and again, anticipating the market is gambling. Waiting for confirmations is speculating. So, it just depends on your time frame. If you're looking at this overall picture here, you want to wait for an impulsive breakout above the pivot, above that wave B area there. That's your confirmation that it's likely. Nothing's ever guaranteed in trading, but that's your confirmation that the bottom is likely in and you're heading higher. If you just go from right here heading higher because it looks good and what I said sounds good and it feeds your greed, then you're just anticipating. And in that case, again, you're more likely to lose your money than not. I don't know if there's anything we can look at locally that might make a better idea than not. Yeah, I don't know. Let me see a 3-minute. There we go. We got 5 up on this. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. 2. So, it looks like we've got 5 up off the bottom here and a 3 on the pullback. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is also possible, which means this could be an ABC. So see, that's what the problem when you guys zoom in. A lot of times with Elliott Wave, you're tempted to really zoom in, really low down, 3-minute time frame, whatever. But then it gets really questionable here, because again, there may be something happening here that this is just an AB and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this could be an A, B, C here. A, B, and C here. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or something like that. Or, 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 gives you 3, 4, 5. So now you got 5 down, right? And then A, B, C up. So that's why it's always best to wait for confirmations, a little bit larger time frames, guys. Trust me. Here's the thing. You have to be smart about it. And if this is the bottom, and you're breaking out to new all-time highs, then this little bit right here is not a big deal. This little bit to wait is not a big deal because your potential return is so much larger. But if you get in here and you're wrong and it goes back against you, you've lost money. Period. You've lost money. Here, you're not losing anything. You're just getting in a little bit later, making sure that it's more likely than not that it's going to continue higher. But a lot of times, traders tend to think opposite of that. And they just think, oh my gosh, if I don't get in here and I wait to get up here, then I just lost 20% profit. Well, yeah, but you don't know if it's going to go up there for sure because you don't have any kind of confirmations going on. You see what I'm saying? You guys, you have to get out of that emotional side of it, that illogical side of it. 20% here is nothing compared to the, whatever possible that you're going to get on that there, 100% or more, heading up there. Lots more money to be made, right? But, I've been doing this for a very long time, and most of the time it's just like talking to a wall when I say stuff like that. Most traders are still so hung up on, oh my God, I'm going to lose all this here. You don't have it. And even if you enter here, there's no guarantee you're going to get it. You're not even waiting for a breakout above here. You'd have to at least wait for a breakout above this swing high. If I was to get in somewhere before wave B here, guys, absolutely I would need to see an impulsive breakout, large candle spreads, expanding volume through the pivot and above this swing high here at 24.95. I would like to see a pullback to retest the pivot and then a breakout above whatever swing high I have there. So if it does something like this, I would want to see a breakdown here and then a breakout there to confirm it. But there was absolutely no reason that I would ever enter right here. There's nothing going on there that gives me any reason to enter. This would be the earliest I would enter a breakout above that, an impulsive breakout above that swing high. But preferably would like to wait for a pullback after that breakout. A retest of this pivot area and then a break back out above that swing high there. Bigger term picture, man, really, until you're getting above this wave B, just triangle, wave E of B termination point. Until you're getting there, anything can happen here. Could just be an ABC and head lower. We're assuming this is, and it looks like it's, 5 down A, triangle B, 5 down C. It looks like it. It's making a good a good case for it, a good argument for it. But this happens all the time, much more often than you're going to like to admit, where it looks this good and then it ends up continuing down lower and you find out, oh, it wasn't that. That really, this was like a 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3, 4 is a triangle. 5 here, and this becomes an ABC, and then it heads down lower. So, do what you guys need to do, but man, I hope you're listening about this stuff, because so much of your heartache can be removed by just waiting for confirmations, looking for higher confidence trades, being intelligent about your entries, being smart about your entries. Okay? Let's see here. It really is, man. It really is. But like I said, it's not mine. That thing about speculating and gambling, that's Jesse Livermore. And it's still true today. One of the worst things I ever hear from people is, I'll discuss a comment that was made by a trader, 100 years ago. And somebody say, oh, yeah, well, they died broke. What's your point? It doesn't negate what they said. It doesn't negate the value proposition of the argument. Again, we're all human beings. Things happen. We can lose it as we get on in our older years there. And end up losing our money, right? We lose it mentally, right? But the reality is the reality. And these things that I, kind of repeat, I repeat to them because they are true. They're the same things that I've noticed over, again, 25 years of doing this. So, you ignore it at your own peril, right? At the end of the day, guys, again, I tell you this all the time. All I can do is tell you this stuff and try to get you to understand it. But if you aren't open-minded enough, if you're just completely cynical and not willing to absorb, just being a brick wall and kind of letting it bounce off you, there's nothing anybody can do for you. It doesn't matter. You can go on to somebody else and do their stuff, and it doesn't matter. If you're not open to understanding, if you're not open to thinking about it, it doesn't matter who you talk to or whose system you buy or whose education you buy or whatever. It's all going to go to waste. The thing about education, guys, is you have to have an open mind. It doesn't matter if it's trading or anything else. You cannot gain knowledge if you aren't open to it. You see what I'm saying? And honestly, that's a lot of new traders don't realize that they're doing it, but that's what they're doing. They're blocking it off. And they go, man, I bought this stuff and I bought this stuff and I bought this stuff and none of it works. It's all a scam. Wall Street's out there taking my money. Whales are out there taking my money. And it's really not it at all. It's really just that they are not open-minded at the time. And they don't understand that they're not open-minded. They're keeping themselves from doing that. Okay, guys? Exactly. Just like being rich doesn't make you right. That's right. Exactly. So, Kryptonio, what's up? He says, I've realized it's all about confirmations the more I started actually using TA to trade. It really is, guys. It really is. I keep telling you, it's trading is easy, is simple, but it's not easy, right? It's just movement between liquidity, but you have to fight yourself constantly with your your emotions and the whole psychology side of it, right? Are you open to maybe thinking that, okay, well, maybe you don't know what you don't know, right? I'm going to tell you guys, I tell you this honestly, these are things I've learned years doing this, right? Years and years talking to other traders, some successful, some not. And it always seems to boil down to how open are they? How humble are they? Those that are more egotistical and cocky tend to never get it. Those that are more humble and accept that, listen, they probably don't know what they think they know as far as trading goes, are usually the ones that end up getting the most out of knowledge that somebody shares with them. Because by understanding it, by being humble at that point, they're open to receiving the information that's coming in, which means they can then consider it. If you're just cocky and you think you know what's going on and whatever, especially if you don't have some multiple years of history of successful trading, especially in bull and bear markets, you're just setting yourself up to lose. Why would you do that? I mean, is it really worth it to jump around and say, oh yeah, look, beat your chest. Oh yeah, I'm right. That's all there is to it. I mean, is that really worth losing the money? I personally, on a personal level, don't get that because I'm not that way. I've never been that way. But I mean, psychologically, I can understand it. It sucks, man. I hate to see people doing that to themselves because you've got all the opportunity in the world and you just refuse to take advantage of it. Let's see here. Any suggestions on the best broker exchange to trade indices like the DXY? Well, the only way you can trade the DXY, you can trade futures on ICE, the International Continental Exchange. I can't even say it. That's the only place you can trade DXY futures that I know of, that I can think of right off. But as far as brokers, guys, really you need to go and look at these brokers yourself and decide, is it going to fit your style? Depending on how you're trading, some of these things that they do, because here's the thing, most brokers today have gone to this 0% commission thing, right? So they don't charge you to get in and out of normal trading, right? We're not talking about futures or options or anything. We're talking about just normal trading, right? But what they do is then they hit you on the back end with different fees associated with, having your money transferred to you, or taking out money, all this other stuff. And so you really have to look at them and decide, okay, well, how am I trading? What are my goals? And then look at their price structure outside of their zero commission thing and try to figure, okay, so that's what it is, but I'm going to get charged this much here, but I don't really need that. So I can go this other one over here, which has a much lower fee on this other part that I do need. So, basically just go to your big traders, man. Go to Interactive Brokers. I like them. Thinkorswim. E-Trade. Let me think here. I mean, those are some of the big ones you can look at. But you really, all of you guys, you have to figure out, you have to go and look at them and see what they're offering and see how it fits your trading. Because if you're a shorter term trader, they might offer you better incentives or better pricing on things that you need versus another one, which if you're a longer term trader, you might need those things. So it doesn't really matter to you, but you need something else that some brokers may charge you more for. But all these brokers that do this 0% commission here, that's because they add all these other fees onto the back end. And so you just have to log in, look at their offerings and see what do they charge you, how much do they charge you, and whatnot. But you can't go wrong with most of the big brokers. I mean, like I said, Interactive Brokers, Thinkorswim, E-Trade, all that kind of stuff. They're the big guys. Yeah. So definitely check that out. I mean, again, this is where I differ from most other people out there, guys. You ask this, and most of these influencers out there, they're going to have, kickbacks that they get. And they're going to say, well, use this broker. And it may not be the best broker for you, but they're going to get a lot of money if you go in there and sign up. You guys may have noticed I don't really ever push anything. I don't really shill anything, right? I give you links to EWI because I've tried out pretty much everything they have. And for the most part, they're pretty great. And so I don't think you can go really wrong. But they are, a bit more expensive. But they have a lot of free stuff. So, I give you guys, links to that, whatever. Trading platforms, TradingView and MotiveWave, the two I use. I like them. I use them. So, I discuss them, Other than that, you don't see me here pumping small coins or anything like that. And I won't do that because it doesn't accomplish what I'm trying to do here. So, I don't know, if that means anything to you, there you go. Hopefully it does. But like I said, the DXY is not really anything you trade. You can get, you can trade futures with it, with ICE, the the Intercontinental Exchange. That's it. I keep saying international. Intercontinental Exchange. But that's the only one I can think of at the moment that allows you to trade futures related to it. You don't trade the DXY itself. Now you can buy stocks. That are that are based on it, kind of. But again, you have to be careful with it. If you guys are buying those, 2 times, 3 times bear, bull kind of things, you have to understand those are not long-term holds. Those types of things, they have to rebalance their portfolios daily. So you're going to incur a lot of fees for that because they're going to charge you for that rebalancing. But they have to rebalance it daily to keep the, what they're trying to get out of it, whether the bull or bear on it. And then the leverage, And by the way, just because it says 3 times bear doesn't mean you're going to get 3 times. That's their goal. They're trying to do that. But for some of them, you may not get more than 1 time. But, again, those are like shorter term trades. Those particular ones are shorter term trades just because the rebalancing that has to happen in that portfolio in order to keep it in line with the goals of the portfolio. So don't ever get into something like that thinking you're going to hold it for a month or something. The fees will kill you. Fees will kill you. You get into it when you see there's a significant turn in the market coming, and you ride it for a bit and get out. That's the best way to use that particular thing to trade. Let's see here. TV Canal, are you going to say I always skip you? Are you kidding me? Well, I hope you're kidding, man. Because it seems like every episode I do that for you. I don't know that I've ever missed one in months here that you've asked for it and I haven't done it. Man, you better be kidding. Because I'll take offense real quick and then I won't do it. Just as a matter of just to make a point. But yeah, if you become a member of TWC there, we do tier 3. You get dot updates every day during the week. But yeah, so let me see here. Oh, it's almost time to go. Let me see here. I guess I can pull that up real quick. In spite of your comment. Boy, oh boy. Oh, there we go. Looking for a breakout above, impulsive breakout above the pivot there. Looks like we've got a breakout above wave B here. So we're probably good to go. An impulsive breakout above the 4-hour pivot should really kind of give us some confidence there. Wave 3 up there, 48.70 minimum target. So there you go. You got it. Anyway. But anyway, guys, hey, listen. There we go. That'll do it. We'll see what goes on with again with Bitcoin here. If you came in a little late, go back to the beginning. I've got 2 ideas here for Bitcoin. It really hinges around this 59,526.51 swing high here on Coinbase. So if we're breaking above that, in either case, the bottom should likely be in and we should be heading up. As far as a range here goes, this looks like we got selling climax, secondary test. Selling climax, automatic rally, secondary test. Get this up thrust here. We've got a dip down as a spring right here. And, what I'm looking for in this area is large candle spread, large volume, kind of like this here, to break us out above the resistance, jump across the creek. We should pull back to it and then head up. But then that gets us, if this bottom is in right here as wave circle 2, wave circle 3 has a minimum expected target of 99,876. So just below 100K, minimum expected target for wave circle 3, which before you get all freaking out, go, but that doesn't reach my $200,000 target. That's wave circle 3 of wave 3 of wave 5. Remember, this is wave 4 here. This is wave 5 coming up. So 1, 2, that gets you a 5, probably around 106, 110,000. And that would just be then a minimum wave 1, 2, 3 up there. So don't freak out. Don't cry in your cookies, guys. Soggy cookies ain't no good for nobody, right? We're getting some rally here. So we'll see how it works for us. Yes, no stream on Friday, okay, guys? So I'll be back on next Tuesday. That said, don't forget to follow me there on, follow us on any of our social media properties there. Most of what I do happens on Twitter, which isn't really saying a whole lot because I don't do a whole lot online because I'm so busy with what I do at TWC, guys. But nonetheless, follow me there. Follow us on our server here, on our Discord server. And by the way, you can get to our Discord server. Let's see here. I'm going to put this link up here for you guys. Right in there. And just even on the free side there, guys, just pay attention to the announcements channel. And anytime I announce something that we're doing or whatever across our social media properties, I announce it there as well. But anyway, if you're in the U.S., I hope you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving week this week. Don't forget, guys, markets are going to be closed on Thursday here in the U.S., and then they close around 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday. But for all intents and purposes, traders are generally out of the office half-day Tuesday or end-of-the-day Tuesday through the rest of the week. Most people don't really want to get on for half a day there on Friday, right? Just turn it into a long weekend. So there we go, guys. I'm going to release a new giveaway this week, today. So I'll post that again. And don't forget, toward the end of the week, guys, we're going to have those Black Friday specials. So be sure you guys are looking then, all right? Hank, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody else. Keith, I see you there. I really appreciate you guys, as always, coming in, spending some time here. I'm not everybody's cup of tea, that's for sure. But one thing you're always going to get from me is an honest look at the market. I'm not going to try and hype anything to you. I'm just going to talk about things the way they are because, again, it doesn't benefit you if I were to do that, right? So what's the use? All right, guys. As I always say, remember, the only thing you control in the market is how much you lose. That's it. So keep working on risk management. You guys have an amazing week and weekend. And I will see you guys next Tuesday, all right? Take care.